here, Gabriel, and I want to show you how to play rock and roll violin. This is the absolute coolest instrument, or any stringed instrument is, to play rock and roll on. It's just not done that often. But I love playing rock and roll on the violin, and I want to show you how to do that. So this is a song I wrote called Attitude, specifically to teach how to play rock and roll. It's pretty simple. It's pretty much just 3-chord rock and roll. There's an extra chord in there once in a while, but it fits in with the other 3 chords. But it's basically your 3-chord rock and roll, the same kind of stuff that Jimi Hendrix was doing on All Along the Watchtower and a bunch of other stuff like that. So let's get started. First of all, I want to tell you that you have to have fun doing this. If you're not having fun, first of all, there's no point. And second of all, no one's going to have fun listening to it. I was having a lot of fun right here doing this here. By the way, you do not need to have all these electric things like the violin or the pedals that I have here as well. Okay, you don't need that. I can explain that later. If you're playing in a situation where you have to play very loud, yes, you need to have that. But just at home to learn how to do this, no need. You can just do it on your acoustic instrument. And by the way, you can learn how to do this on any instrument. But since we don't have a whole lot of violins do that, I want to show you how to do that on violin, viola, cello, and we're going to have a lot of fun here. So first of all, we do need to have a little theory, very little. We just need to know what key are we in and what scale to use. Okay, so this is in the key of 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp, which in the key of major, that's D major. We're in the key of minor, which is B minor. Same notes, okay? So what we're going to do to get started is we're going to play a B minor scale, just a natural minor. There are no alterations, not melodic minor or harmonic minor, just B minor. All right, so get to know those notes, okay? If that's confusing, you could just go D major and even just do 1 octave if you like, okay? So those are the notes we're going to be using. That's the key. You've got to know what key you're in. There are other notes that are going to work in this, but if you play notes in that key, we're good. They'll all sound good. All right, so how do we get started? Well, first of all, we're going to get familiar with those notes. And the other thing, copy others. Listen to others. Listening is so important. So listen to others and copy others. By the way, you can have this track that I'm playing along with, and also the one that I play my solos on from my string is all into my string groove material. And you can find those recordings on YouTube. You can find them at String Groove. You could just look up String Groove Attitude is the name of the song, and there's 2 tracks, one where I'm playing and one also that is a rhythm track. Also on my site, stringgroove.com, you'll find stuff there as well. I will also have on that site the music for this melody here as well, and a bunch of other things. And if you like, also I have an app for iPad here. So and that's my String Groove app, and that's what I'm using actually right now. So there's a host of things that we can use, but you know, there you can get the play along with that. Okay, so let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play the scale. I'm going to play it a couple times, and I want you to play along with me. Then we also learn by copying, listening and copying. So then I'm going to play a riff, which is just a rock and roll, just a little ditty there. I'm going to play that, and you're going to copy that riff, okay? So in classical music, we call it a motif. So I'm going to play it once, and I'm going to play it again. You're going to copy, okay? So we're going to do the scale, and then we're going to do the riffs. I'm going to play a riff, and you're going to copy. So even if you couldn't play all those notes, that's cool. Try it again, but at first just get the rhythms right and just get those and just get the feel of that. A lot of the rhythms I'm doing are kind of like, they're kind of syncopated and all this. The syncopated when we're not exactly on the beat. Okay, so that we have in a lot of pop music, and so just listen for those kind of rhythms, and again, copy others as well. All right, so how do you learn how to do that yourself? Let's say you want to do this, okay? You want to make up your own stuff, but you don't really know what to do. Like, I don't know what's good, or what am I going to do? Okay, first of all, we know that all the notes in that scale work, okay? So if you play any of those notes, they're going to work. And if you're practicing your instrument and you sound good on your instrument, that's already really important, because you want it, even if you play the right notes, you want them to sound good as well. So we got those two things going. All right, so now let's get used to playing those notes. All right, how do we do that? Well, first of all, I'm going to put this jam track back on, and we're going to start with one note, just one note, and then we're going to go to two notes, and three, and so on. And you'll see, you'll just, before you know it, you're going to be playing a whole bunch of notes. I suggest just play on one string at first, and you'll see, then we'll go to other strings. So I'm just making up a random rhythm, and I just keep changing it with one note. Now that gets boring real fast. So now I'm going to use two notes. All right, how about three notes? And you can keep doing just, you know, 1, 2, or 3 notes for a long time, but we're going to move right now to 4 notes. Feel free to play along with me and make up your own rhythms. And I'm just staying on the A string right here, okay? Well, the D string on the violin and viola, they have exactly the same finger pattern. So let's go there. We'll start with one note. Two notes. Three. 4. 5. Now when you get comfortable with, now you're comfortable with the A and the D string, why don't we put those two together? A and D string. Now, when you get comfortable with those two strings, then move on to the other two strings, which have a different finger pattern. For violin, we have a low 2, G natural. All right, so. And on the G string, also for violin and viola, we have a high 3 because we have a C sharp. And then if you're playing viola, then you have your C sharp, also that low 1 on your C string, and same as the cello. Okay. So, you want to get familiar with those notes, okay? And you just have, you know, some fun, just getting used to all those notes. But, you know, you want to put a little time in there and then have some fun fooling around, just doing what you want. What I really like to do when I practice improvisation, this goes for jazz or anything, I have all sorts of exercises that I do that really, some of them are very difficult, but then when it comes time to really just blowing a solo, okay, I just kind of let it go, and all the work that I did just comes out. You let it just happen, okay? I like to compare it to, I used to study a lot of martial arts, and until I blew out my knees, but I used to study a lot of martial arts, and what we would do there is we'd study our punches and our kicks and our forms, and we'd really think about how to do them properly and all that. But then when it came time to a sparring match, or God forbid a real fight, which I never had to do, you would just let it go and just let everything go, because if you thought about too much how to do a certain kick or punch or anything like that, it would just be too late and wouldn't work. So what improvisation is spontaneous composition, and the more you have more facility and more ideas and more experience, the better you're going to get at that. Okay, cool. So now I want to just show one other exercise, and I have a whole host of other exercises, more complicated exercises that I can show you in the future. Again, you could log on to stringgroove.com and find stuff there as well. But one thing that your teachers really might like, your violin teachers, to really get good form on your left hand, you can practice these finger patterns. For instance, on the A string, you have that finger pattern. Make sure your knuckles are up and your fingers are just nice and rounded and good. Then you do the same thing on the D. And then you can go faster. It's also a very good fourth finger exercise. And then you do the same on the G, except it's a different finger pattern. And the E string. Okay, now you can put on your jam track here and do that. So that's a real fun way to build up some good technique, and then you'll even have more facility and more stuff to use. I have actually written a whole series of exercises like that. I call them Shreddick. It's kind of a play on the Shreddick violin etudes and exercises that you can do. One last thing I want to just say is just have fun with this. Some people just pick it up and just go with this and just really have a lot of fun. Have fun. If you like what you're doing, I guarantee you other people are going to like what you're doing. And just really just enjoy this improv. This is a really simple way to get into improvisation. And I could show you other things in the future. There's other notes to use. There's all sorts of techniques. Like I think I was doing some things that you might have, like sliding in notes, or even this... which I call that rock vibrato. There's actually a video I have on rock vibrato on that one. And so just check it, just really just have some fun with this thing. I'm going to go back and play some more of this tune because I really enjoy this.